Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Falag, and as promised, I am going to give you a very short set of reminders about the final listening exam, which is December 17th. Remember that we do not have class tomorrow, so this short lecture is in lieu of our class. The final listening exam will be at 9:15 a.m. in our classroom on Thursday, December 17th. And as you know, it will cover 2 lectures and the Chapter 4 vocabulary. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the 2 lectures and the vocabulary to see if you're ready for your exam. First lecture, Introduction to Globalization. Do you have your notes? What are the main aspects of globalization? How long has globalization been happening? If you can't answer these questions, then you probably need to study. Maybe you need to listen to the lecture again. Take better notes. So, you're going to start with the note-taking sheet that I gave you in class. It's also available on the Session 13 description page. This is like an outline for taking notes on this lecture. So print it out and take notes on this sheet and bring it to the exam. We're going to watch the lecture again on the day of the exam so you can check your notes. And before the day of the exam, as you listen, remember to pause the slides so that you can fill in key points in the note-taking sheet. The lecture is presented as a PowerPoint, and just like this one, and so you can pause it and take down notes of key points. Lecture 2, Poverty in China. How does the World Bank define poverty? Do you remember the speaker using a note card and listing off several parts of the definition of poverty? Did you take notes on that? Second question, what does the speaker think we should do to alleviate poverty? Okay, if you can't answer these 2 questions, then again, you probably need to listen to the lecture again and study it. And by the way, alleviate is a Chapter 4 vocab word. Do you know that word? What does it mean? Okay, I'm not going to answer that question. Okay, for poverty in China, you have no worksheet to take notes on, so you're kind of on your own. So you're going to need to take very clear, easily readable notes because you're going to rely on these notes when you take the exam. Bring them on the day of the exam, and you're going to see the lecture again, and you can review your notes. I will also give you the questions for the exam before you watch the lectures so that you can review the questions before you listen again. Then you'll know what you're listening for, okay? Remember, about both lectures, you're going to have no script available for you for these lectures like we did in our book. So if you try to use the closed captioning feature on YouTube, remember that the captioning is very inaccurate. It may be partly helpful, but it may be kind of distracting, I think. So that's not going to help you too much. So you're going to have to listen more than one time and take notes. Chapter 4 vocabulary, there will be 11 questions as part of the listening final. You'll have a list of vocab words, and then you'll have sentences with blank spaces in them, and you'll use each word to fill in one of the sentences. So study the vocab words, use the Quizlet exercises. The links are found on the sessions 12 and 13 description pages. Here's a little quiz. Do you know these words? Which word on the Chapter 4 vocab list means rich? Which word could you use to mean a friend or a supporter? What does it mean when you say that 2 countries are interdependent? And which Chapter 4 word means shortage? Okay, I'm going to give you the answers to these. Rich is affluent, so affluent is one of the Chapter 4 words. An ally is a friend or supporter, and interdependent means dependent on each other or mutually dependent. And finally, scarcity is another word for shortage. Okay, so how did you do? Maybe you need to study these words too. Are you ready? I hope so. I think the first thing I would advise you to do is not be late on Thursday, December 17th. And don't forget to bring your notes because I'm going to collect them and they will be part of your grade. So best of luck to everyone. I'll see you on December 17th.